right, testing, testing. Yes, we are now live. Hi, I'm Kira858, and today, once again, and we'll be playing. My apologies. There was and some content going in the background. Nevertheless, we're now live, and we're going to be playing our D&D with my friends here, doing episode 3 of It's Our World. But first, here as always, we like to give love and support to different individuals out in the community. We always start out our my streams with shout outs to different streamers out there, so perhaps you could give them some support and follow them on their endeavors. So first, we would like to give a shout out for. He's a good friend of mine. His name is Markafet. Markafet was actually one of my first friends here. Where I actually started playing D&D. When I first started streaming, he was here almost the entire time. He also started his own streaming channel. He's absolutely a fantastic individual, very charismatic. And he has some fantastic skills when it comes to hand and eye coordination. If you want to see some pro strats, definitely take a look at his channel. So once again, that's Markafet. If you can take a look, like I said, you won't be disappointed. The second person we would like to give a shout out for, he's actually currently in chat as well. His name is Usaringer. Usaringer, he actually did the music for our intro song. And so he's been a good friend of mine. He's been coming by for the watch parties. Fantastic individual. Also makes music on his own channel. And like I said, you'll definitely get to hear his ordeal in a few minutes when we get to our intro video. But if you can, definitely give Usariga a follow and support them on their endeavors. The last person we like to give a shout out for. Yep, you got a shout out. The last person you like to give a shout out for is a good friend of mine. Her name is Rosebell Arts. She's actually was one of my first friends I had here on Twitch. I remember when she first started. She was relatively small, having like 8 or 9 viewers starting off, and now she's a partner. Completely just expanded, and she deserves all types of love and respect, and she deserves all the success that she receives. So if you can, definitely go ahead and give Rosebell Arts a follow and support them on their endeavors. Like I said, you won't regret it. With that said, we don't have too many announcements for this time. Just one, of course, we have our Discord. So if you like to talk about what's currently going on in our episodes, you like to give any fan art regarding our unique band of individuals, you can always access our Discord by hitting !Discord here in chat and follow us, and from there you can be able to chat in our Discord and talk about some of the things that you like about our show, talk about some of our characters, any questions that you may have regarding our characters. I believe everybody here in the video is actually on the Discord as well. So, like I say, if you have any questions regarding some of the characters, as long as it's not too spoilerific, they are pretty sure they might be able to give you some hints here or there. We also have a YouTube channel that is actually just started live last week. And so, therefore, because we know Twitch VODs disappeared technically in about 2 months. So, we wanted to have a YouTube channel available out there for those who wanted to go and watch perhaps some of the early episodes, like episode 1, you will have that opportunity to on YouTube. So our YouTube link is actually in our Discord. So once again, if you join our Discord, you can be able to follow us on YouTube and follow and see all the VODs that's in place. We already have episode 1 uploaded on YouTube, and episode 2 is going to be released up there either tomorrow or Monday. So like I said, so that'd be fantastic there. And I think that's probably the only other major announcement that we have in there. So I guess we can start going down the list of having my friends introduce themselves, who they're playing, and any social medias and projects they would like to plug. And of course, we'll start off with Wanderer Text, aka Nezra, because she's always the one first next to me. If you'd like to speak about anything you have in place.
Hey, my name is Aaron. I'm living over here in Southeast Asia, so it's actually daytime here. And you can find me on Wanderer Text on Discord or on Twitter. That's all I got going right now.
Fantastic. So next we'll go with Nuvian, aka Ree. Ree, if you'd like to talk a little bit about yourself, any social medias and projects you like to plug.
Sure. Hello, everyone. I'm Ree, and you can find me on Twitter at BigDudeRee, where I will occasionally post interesting comments and D&D polls. So you should definitely watch it. And that's it for me.
Fantastic. Now we'll start working our way on the bottom row. We'll start with Mimsy. Mimsy, you like to, aka Serena, you like to talk about yourself, plug your social medias, any projects you have.
Hey everyone, my name is Mimsy or Morgan. You can find me at PC Keen Arts on Instagram. Don't really have any current projects. I just posted on my Instagram today. First post of the new year, so go check that out.
2021. Pew pew pew. So yeah, you can definitely give her some support. The image, the artwork that you see next to her name, she was the one who actually done that artwork. So yeah, as you can see, she's a fantastic artist. Next, Fell Flames. You'd like to talk a little bit about yourself? Plug any social medias or projects you're currently working on?
I don't have anything to report at the moment, but I've been working on some stuff in the background, so stay tuned. Someday.
Ooh.
But now I've said it, so you all can keep me honest about it, right?
Oh yes, it's now recorded for quality purposes. So
quality assurance purposes, it is now on record, y'all.
Yes.
But yeah, that's all I got.
The announcement before the announcement. Fantastic. And then Achilles, aka Adrian Bear, would like to talk a little bit about yourself and any social medias and projects you like to plug in.
Sweet. Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Adrian Beer, and you can find me on Twitter at WolfmanJessop. That is JESSOP, if I remember correctly. I don't have too much to report right now, but when I'm able to, I will be able to tell you what I can report.
Another announcement before the announcement. I actually have that feeling myself. There's actually something I'm currently working on in the works that perhaps we'll be able to stream this live. So 2021 looks to be hopefully a new foundation, a new beginning. We'll see how things goes. So with that said, we'll go ahead and show our intro video before we get started. It's Our World, coming to you live. All right, so we're now back. So I hope you liked our intro video. We just got that in last week, and some of the artwork was done by myself. The music was done by Useringer, who we gave the shout out for, as well as some of the artwork was done by Mimsy. So, with that said, with all the announcements, the intro video in place, Fell Flames, take it away.
So I need to be unmuted to talk.
Yes, that helps a little bit.
That does help.
Helps just a little bit.
Does help.
Contributing to our usual technical difficulties.
Of course.
Of course, no, yeah, why not? I mean, whatever, right? So where we last left off, our Nezra is currently in the room with someone who appears to be wounded. You did not expend your spell, but you were told that healing magic is not working and that one of the characters believes it to be cursed. For your reference, the three people that are in this sort of makeshift bunker room with you right now are the daughter, Elia, Harry Haronda, and the father. whose name you had also had, and it is Daniel.
I was also muted. I did not learn from your mistakes. Daniel, yes.
So you are in
Okay.
the room with the three of them, and Elia has said to you, I believe the wound is cursed, unfortunately.
Oh dear, can you tell me what happened? Sorry, I guess we should start with introductions. Hello, my name is Nezra. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm here because your mother was quite worried when you did not return and just wanted to know if you were okay.
Well, as you can see, I am. It is unfortunate, but what she doesn't know can't come back to hurt her. You understand, I'm sure.
Yes, I understand the need for some discretion.
Good.
Let's see. While still being discreet, is there any way you could relay to me some information about how I can help you?
Well, I suppose that trying to help track down some materials that we believe could lift the curse would be helpful, but I suppose you'll want to know a little bit more before you'd be wanting to agree to something like that.
I mean, any information you could give me would be very helpful. I'm not sure if Harry has explained this to you, but I actually came with a few people who agreed that they would take my word for it that you are all right. So I'm not here alone. I have others who can help me, but the more information you give me, the more I would be able to actually help you.
I suppose it might be easier if we could all meet.
Oh, well, I mean, I think that they would be absolutely thrilled for that. Do you want them to come here? I mean, it doesn't look like your father's in much condition to move.
I don't think that's a very good idea. I'm not sure he's in much condition to be speaking with you either.
How does he look? Can I don't know, give him a once over? Like, I know you said he has like a gash.
Yeah. You could roll me a medicine check to try to get like a more accurate impression in where his overall health might be. Like, it looks bad, but it being bad doesn't tell you a lot.
23.
So, it looks to you like this curse has probably triggered some sort of magical disease that, because of the curse, is resisting typical forms of magical healing. If someone is capable of like healing wounds with like cure wounds, you imagine they might be capable of removing disease as well. But it doesn't seem like that's something that worked.
Okay. Does he look conscious, or like, is he in and out of it? Is he feverish? Like, how with it does he seem?
Yeah, it seems like right now his condition is kind of in like a cold sweats sort of stage, like he's trying to sweat out a fever.
Well, I don't know. Would you be willing to come up to meet with them if you wanted to explain it all in one go, or do you want to use me as some sort of middle person? Like,
roll me a perception check.
I just did, didn't I?
No, you rolled me a medicine check. I want a perception check. It is unrelated to the wound.
20.
So
30.
at this point, Elia and Harry actually start having a whispered conversation. you're able to get the essence of it being that he doesn't really want her to show herself, and she's basically saying that she won't, at least not exactly. And she twists a ring in her pocket, and in front of you, her hair color and her clothing and everything transforms in front of your eyes, and it no longer looks like her. It looks like a completely different person. And you gather that Harry is not happy, but he's unwilling to resist any more forcefully than he already has.
I'm going to guess that means that you want to go up.
I think it would be best.
I mean, I will defer to your judgment. You know far more what's going on here than I do.
Well, if they're going to get involved, it just seems rather unfair to me that your friends might be unable to participate in the conversation.
They, well, they're mostly a pretty quiet bunch, actually, but yeah. I mean,
Well,
I don't make
it
decisions
might
for
be-
them.
I suppose it might be a lot of us talking then, but we shall see. And she kind of like holds out her hand in a like sort of after you type of gesture.
I go a 4.
Okay. You go back and you find the ladder that you came down, but it looks like the space above you has closed somehow.
All right. Is Harry
she,
coming
like-
back with us, or is Harry staying with Daniel?
At the moment, he's staying.
Sorry, I think I interrupted you. Did she say something?
Yeah. As you get up there, she like waits for a moment, and as you're kind of staring around, she's like, "Oh gosh, I'm sorry," and she presses a particular stone in the wall, and you hear silently the space above you moves. It's like impressively silent.
Oh. Oh, thank you. And I will head back up. When I get to the top, I just want to do a quick peek to make sure that there's no one sitting there waiting on me.
There's not.
Okay. Then
None of the party appears to have followed you, and the father, fortunately, still seems not to have noticed your escapades.
Excellent. Then I will lead her to the barn that we are staying in.
Okay. She follows you. And you all see a woman appear who looks to be about the same age that you were expecting, sort of like about 20 or early 20s, but otherwise doesn't fit the description.
So everything's okay then, Ezra?
Oh, just 1 second. We're going to explain, or rather, our new friend is going to explain what's going on. Please make yourself comfortable. Everyone have like a hot tea or something.
Okay. I'm not thirsty,
yeah.
but I'm okay.
Everything all right?
She's waiting for an indication to you that she should speak. Nezra, do you
Yeah.
like,
Okay.
nod?
Yeah.
Or okay, yeah. She says, "Well, as you can see, I'm safe. Although I am in hiding. Perhaps we can come to what we're hiding from and why in time. But at the moment, my father has fallen to an injury, and something is preventing him from being healed. Some sort of a curse. I don't want the people that might be after him to find out that I've discovered details about what happened. But my immediate concern is that we heal him before the curse takes him.
Would you
Yes,
have any
is this
idea
The
how to go
curse,
about
is this
that?
the person we're looking for?
Oh, sorry, Nuvian. This is Alaya. I guess I should have introduced her first. This is Alaya. Her father.
Certainly doesn't look like what the mother's told us.
This is Alaya. And I will mind link with her and be like, it is Alaya. I saw her.
Just kind of.
Very well. Can you tell me more about the nature of the injury and what exactly caused it?
I cannot. Mostly because I'm not entirely sure. It's been difficult to communicate with him since he took the injury. I'm surprised he was actually able to make his way to the orchard and remain secretive enough about it that he wasn't followed. He came in here, if you'll pardon a turn of phrase, halfway in the grave. I've been able to help him somewhat, but because of this curse, I can't seem to fully ease the suffering. I am not the most knowledgeable about curses. My strengths lie more in medicine and healing from the earth.
I take that to mean that healing magic does not work.
It does not.
So, do you have any idea then of how you'd like us to proceed? Like, I mean, are there, do you know of a way that we can remove said curse or?
Well, a mage, a wizard or sorcerer with the knowledge might be capable of removing the curse. It's a skill that I'm told that they have. Unfortunately, given the circumstances, it's going to be difficult to recruit someone that we can trust with enough secrecy who has both the skills and is unrelated to the armies that we might trust enough in order to heal this. Which means we would need to find another way, unless you're seeing something that I do not.
What about our man at the temple, old father? What was his name again? There, Nezra.
Gerard.
Gerard. Oh, brother Gerard. What about him then? Would he not have the ability to maybe
Didn't
assist
strike
in this?
me. Didn't strike me as high enough up on the totem pole, I suppose.
Perhaps
Also,
then there's somebody else at the temple.
Well, if we're avoiding an army, maybe you're also avoiding Bastion itself?
I think that it's likely that the people there and the organizations there are a bit more connected than you might otherwise imagine. At least that's what I'm concerned about.
Well, I don't know. Have any of you in your travels found a mage proficient enough in this kind of speciality?
So
I have not.
it's possible my mother might know something, but I'm not entirely sure. That's a fair ways back, though. I don't know how long that would take to get it all the way back home and bring my mother out here.
I would worry a bit for her safety, asking her to be involved as well. That's why I'm coming to you with a different face. I hesitate to even ask it of you.
Do we know if anyone in the mountains are spellcasters by chance?
It's funny you mention the mountains. there is perhaps another way.
We'd be
The
interested to
room
hear.
is wrapped in attention.
It's like, and
Leave closer.
Take your time.
That
That's
does
a
not
politi-
sound welcoming.
Well, I don't think that it's going to be.
Do you have bad history with this person?
Well, it's not a person so much as a place.
Does it happen to be called the Peaks?
No.
Okay.
Oh, are
Why
we
do you
going,
ask?
Are we going to the place that blew up?
Place sign.
Oh. Erlorn?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so you know about that. That's good. You've been out for a couple days.
I've been gone for a couple days, but I have not been out.
Oh. Were you gone to Erlorn?
That is no longer an option, but it was something that we considered. There were many spellcasters there.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, the ones without an extremely high level of strength have all unfortunately perished. And it didn't seem prudent to go back once we discovered the issue. We were afraid that they were still hiding somewhere in the ruins. It's quite gruesome, actually. I mean, there was like an entire bowl cut out where the city used to be.
You saw it.
From a distance.
So it's like the city got eaten?
As a bird.
As a bird.
As a bird.
So where
Can I make an
Yeah.
insight check?
he's like,
I
Yeah.
also would like to make an insight check as well.
Sure.
Yeah, you can't trust her. He doesn't.
Everybody's like, I ate waffles for breakfast. Let me inside check that. You were eating- I know
don't
you got
believe
some
that.
bacon.
You're lying. Cheerios
reason-
all the way.
22.
The only reason Nubian is still listening to her is because Desra said it was okay. So I got 13.
We got 22.
got it too. Like, a bird, yes.
Hey, you can't
Knowing if a
trust
person can turn into a bird tells you a lot about their skill set. I'm just saying.
True.
She seems to be completely serious. It's difficult to tell between like a false belief and someone's true belief, but her conviction that she saw this as a bird is firm.
Mhm.
Okay.
Well, so you seem quite hesitant about these mountains. Like, if there's something we can do to help, at least I can vouch for myself that I will do my utmost to help you. And I think we're all used to a certain level of danger. So don't be too shy to tell us what you seem to be scared to tell us about.
Yeah, the people here seems kind of weird, so I can understand why you're very reserved. Like they kept saying, talking stuff about dragons, so I can see why you may be concerned.
Many people fear things that they do not understand.
Mm-hmm. I've now seen that.
It's unfortunate because it oftentimes cuts them out from being able to understand. But I digress. The reason I hesitate to ask about the mountains is that there is a ruined city. There's a rumor of an ancient ruined city hidden somewhere in the mountains. One that used to be a seat of former magical power, which again, I do not fully understand any of the arcane arts. But I'm told that it exists there, and though I can't point you to directly where it is, were you able to find it? If there exists an item that could aid with this condition, I'm sure it could be found there.
Could I make a history check just to see if I've read any, at least children's stories about the city or anything like that, which might have existed or anything along those lines?
You can. You have a level of wizard, which to me indicates that you have a reasonable amount of training and probably some access to historical family knowledge.
What about
Yeah,
Serena?
but not the specific knowledge. That was a 6.
Not that specific knowledge. Serena could definitely roll too if she wants to.
All right. I was going to ask that.
Roll high, roll high.
That is a. Oh, I can't do math. Hold on. That is a 22.
Tight.
Ooh.
You know what? That's smart. Let me go ahead and bring up a calculator. You know what? That's smart.
Yeah, I got a calculator on hand.
Yep.
Yeah. See how high we can count this up. Click, click, click.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah. No.
An abacus.
Yeah, abacus. So 22. How familiar is Serena with like local history to Bastion in general?
Considering her background, she probably would have been trained in it.
Okay. You definitely know something. I'm trying to decide exactly what. So I think Serena would possibly also have heard rumor of the same mountains. They are, if you have the roll 20 up, the mountains that are in between Bastion and where Lauren used to be. Which, by the way, just as a side note for you all, if you're curious how you'll be able to affect the history of the world throughout this campaign, that was another group of players in a different campaign. That's why Lauren doesn't exist anymore.
wait.
Oh. Okay.
Wait. So you're telling me
we can
another?
blame them.
So you're telling me another group of adventurers? You like, you know what? We don't need this city anymore. Kaboom! And
Whoops.
So, just because it's kind of fun, and they might find the story entertaining, I'll digress like really quick here. It was an evil party.
Oh,
And
okay.
one of the characters had like a character ambition from like level 5 that like, I want to find a doomsday device or build a doomsday device and blow something huge up. That was like one of the character ambitions. And then he ended up discovering a way to actually do it with some old magic, and he was like in awe. And then he did it. He went for it, and it blew up the whole town.
Wow.
Ooh.
Talk about mission successful. Okay.
Doomsday device. You
I know
say.
you like, now I can retire and sit in the bar like Thanos.
Hey, Zach, on the map, can you mark where we are right now?
It is marked.
The peak place.
If you zoom in a bit, there is a little. It's kind of tough to see on.
Oh, okay. I got
There's like a little pink
Yeah.
square that marks where you guys are at. Yep.
So, Elia, just to clarify, there is a hypothetical place at an unknown location within the mountains that, because of the stories about it, you believe has a magical item that we could then return back here in order to remove the curse from your father so they can be healed. Is that accurate?
Mostly. Although I don't think that it's a hypothetical place. I think that it's real. I can't confirm that as I've never been there.
Do you have a name at least?
I believe this is going to be a mouthful, but it was Nazin Mahaga Litar was the name of the
Nazin.
city.
Mahaga Latar.
I
You're
will
gonna
be.
need to type that.
I will. She says.
Oh,
will
that's
write-
how I spelled it exactly. Oh,
Nice.
She says. I will write it down for you.
Oh, I was
Anyone
close.
have
I was
a
close.
piece of paper?
This is about what letter?
I wasn't even close.
I had an M instead
I
of
wasn't
an N.
attempting it.
I would prefer not to say where exactly I obtained the book, but I did find a book, an old book, that seems to confirm its existence.
So was this Nazim place like a offshoot of Airlorn, or were they like rivals? Because it's very unique for them to be so close to one another. Two powerful places of magic.
I don't have a perfect understanding of history, but as far as I can understand it in the past few days of reading that I've been able to do, it appears that Nazin Mahaga Latar was no longer in existence centuries before Erlorn even began its construction.
Oh, so it's old.
Not exactly what I would have said, but yes, very accurate. By the way, I know you're calling back to that.
Yeah.
She doesn't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Slight callback. Check out
How-
episode 2.
What do you think we might be looking for there in terms of an item? I mean, if this is an old ruined city, I imagine it might be difficult to locate something we don't know what we're looking for.
I can see that might be. It's an impression.
Is there something you aren't telling us about this city?
I don't think so, other than specifically that I prefer not to say where I confirmed its existence. I don't know exactly what the magic might look like. It's not my specialty.
Do you think the dragons would know in the peak? Since they're old too?
If you could talk to a dragon,
Mm-hmm.
I'm certain they'd have a lot of knowledge. Possibly they would know something about the city as well.
You said-
If they were to be...
No, please do continue. My apologies.
If they were to be perhaps a millennia or more old, I think they might know something.
Oh, what they said, or Airlorn is an ancient dragon, so he's definitely older than that.
Archon was his name, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, his name's Archon.
Okay, yeah.
Dragon of that age.
I don't mean to be obfuscating.
Lyot, can we read the books you've been reading?
Perhaps. Why? If I
Well,
may ask.
You said that you've gleaned this knowledge from the books that you've been reading in the short period of time you've had. And then if we could read those books, we could also gather the knowledge that you seem to be unable to fully pin down for us.
I'm not sure that will be possible, as the only thing you can glean from a book is what's written in it. But I will do my best to make it available if you think it will help.
So we should probably leave tomorrow if it's as dire as she says regarding the wound, because I'm not sure. It sounds like
pretty
it's
bad.
sounds like it's bad.
But the problem is mountains are big. Without a general heading, we're just going to be in mountains.
Mm-hmm. But at least we have idea. If the book doesn't help, we can at least ask the dragons there, and we know where the dragons are.
I suppose
if you do decide to do that, I would just ask that you try to ensure that the dragon riders do not discover what you're discussing.
You're asking to keep a lot of information secret from a lot of people.
Zach, would I know, are the dragon riders officially allied with the army?
You've been about, I would say, yeah. They are, frankly, a tool for the army, essentially. It's like
ops.
It's like having a spec ops team that carries around a nuclear warhead or something.
As one does.
I feel like that's counterproductive.
Achilles will ask her another question. Elia, I'm going to make a few suppositions, and you don't have to either confirm or deny these, but let us just say that I spent a bit of time talking to somebody who may or may not know these kinds of things, and they seemed to intimate that potentially certain associates of your father might be involved in things which are deemed unfitting of their station. Is it likely that maybe your father became aware of these dealings and this is why he was attacked?
I cannot say that is exactly what happens, although you have spun quite a compelling tale for how a person might come to be injured by a cursed weapon. Roll me an insight check.
Yeah, I would like to roll that one. Would I roll?
I'm gonna say it specifically for Achilles in this case.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
The DC will be 10.
I got 14.
Because you were kind of looking for it, being that you had asked the question in such a way as to allow for it, you realize that she's essentially trying to confirm the story without saying yes directly. Especially in case someone were somehow listening.
I will tap my head and look at Nezra.
I activated Mind Link.
Yeah, I know. The lovely lady at the yawning tail confirmed as much. It's totally the business partners.
I mean, that's one option. So was that a yes or a no on the heading? I just don't want to have silence. So I want to keep a conversation going because last time we got called out.
Oh, yeah.
That's true.
No, that's completely fair. That is good play. She says, well, I suppose if you're willing to wait the time, I can arrange for access to the books. Although I believe your friend stated that he thought you should perhaps leave soon.
Wait. Why would the army attack you with someone with a cursed weapon? Why would they have a cursed weapon? That's not you. An army shouldn't have a cursed weapon unless they're bad.
Are you saying this out loud?
Well,
Oh yeah. That's easy. Yeah.
This awkward silence is in game and out of game.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Hold on. Let me just.
We'll get into the specifics of the military-industrial complex in a minute.
Yeah.
no.
So,
Oh, yeah.
Elia spins the ring on her hand, and you see her appearance flashes for just a second or two to fit the description of who you were expecting, and then as she keeps spinning the ring and puts it back to the original orientation, it flickers and it's gone. And she says, "Well, Ikara, I happen to agree with you. That would be strange."
I have a DM question. We traveled to get here, and we were going to stay the night. Assuming we actually started making our way in that direction now instead of later, would we then suffer some exhaustion?
You'd accrue the exhaustion like around daylight, because you all typically wake up, like Achilles, especially being a farmer, he wakes up with the daylight. So exhaustion kind of comes a 24-hour period afterwards. So it's not like you're not exhausted now, but you'd be exhausted if you don't sleep before you hit that 24-hour point. Excuse me.
Okay.
Ikara was.
Well,
Well,
there may be another person we can ask, though I am reluctant to bring them up in front of such company.
Durigan?
Another time, Akara.
Oh, no.
Well,
She kind of
Elia,
like literally raises one eyebrow and is like, "The legendary dragon monk?"
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I can't actually comprehend how much a person like that could know. I'm not sure.
well, Elia, I think that we are all in agreement that our plan is to help your father in any way possible, possibly by going to this city and finding this artifact, or finding a trustworthy person who could remove the curse.
Well, you have my gratitude for that.
You know, when in doubt, consult your local library. They might have legends or old maps.
I'm pretty sure the nearest library is in Bastion.
Well, I mean,
using official places.
either we go to the peaks and ask people, or go to the library and ask people, or wander around the mountains for a couple of years till we
Doesn't
find.
hurt to possibly look at the library.
Well, this does
You-
dovetail nicely into my question of how long do you think we have?
Before he succumbs to the wound,
Indeed.
it's difficult to say. 3 days ago, I would have said 3 days. But he seems to have taken a turn for the better with some level of treat. We haven't left him alone. That's why others remained.
So some expediency is necessary.
Some level, but perhaps a week.
If we needed to contact you, we could speak with Harry.
Sure.
if you, well, I mean, I think if you have those books, wonderful. Other than that, I think that we can discuss amongst ourselves. I know you're probably eager to get back to your father.
I'll tell you what. Do you have a candle?
Ollie,
I'm sure somebody has a candle.
Somebody's bound to have one.
I'm fairly certain there's one in my pack.
That's what I was thinking. Like, should there be in our pack?
Yep, I got 20 candles. How many candles do you want?
Hmm.
Yes, I do, and I pull out one.
If you need to speak with me, light that candle and put it in the window.
Any window, or are you talking about the barn?
The window in the barn.
Okay. Sure. Can do.
Well, it's I think we have a little bit to discuss there, Elia. But I mean, you don't have to rush off by any means. You're welcome to sit with us for a while. But if you do feel the need to go back to your father, feel free.
Well, I appreciate that. The only thing I'll ask before I go is whether or not you can confirm for me if you wanted to take a look at those books, because I'm a bit unclear after our conversation so far.
Yes. We've had so many discussions where it's like, I'm not entirely certain if I can be of the persuasion in order to give absolute confirmation of a fact that is heretofore mentioned. The answer is yes, I would like those books, please.
Okay.
And also, if you can in some way try to maybe give us a clue who may have done this. I don't like people doing bad things like this, so we can take care of it for you.
I think we can figure that out, Car.
You know?
Well, I think we can figure it out.
Okay.
Like a big mystery, Akar. We're gonna find out.
Oh, I never did one of those before. Okay.
Suppose we should get ready to sleep. I recommend us awakening early in the morning.
I agree.
Is Elias still in the barn, or is she getting ready to leave?
She's getting ready to leave. She needs to go collect some books for you.
Okay. So Rene is going to stop her and be like, I know we were all talking very seriously, but I need to ask about the ring. What is that? What is it? Like, where did you get it?
It's a ring that creates an illusion. I suppose it's a family heirloom of sorts. It was my father's, but he doesn't have need of it for the moment.
I see. I was just wondering, I'm a connoisseur of magical items, I guess you could say. I like tinkering a little bit. So I was just curious of what it was.
I understand.
Okay, I'll just leave you to it now. Just wanted to ask.
She looks a bit like surprised, but she's like, no problem.
Actually left.
She leaves and she returns about 10 minutes later with 3 books. You can see that the books have been altered a bit. It looks like there was something painted on the spine that has been scratched out recently.
So many secrets, but all right. Thank you for these books, Elia.
Well, I mean, she would have been gone by the time you would be able to inspect it and recognize that. But when you start looking at them, you would.
She is almost certainly manipulating us.
How many
Wait.
books did she give us?
3.
Uh,
3. Two of them seem normal. One of them seems to have the inscription on the spine that was painted on has been scratched off.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, brother,
Yeah, I did not get the impression that it was actually manipulation. It seemed like her situation had a stranglehold on her tongue, like she couldn't give anything definitive. But I don't think that she was purposefully hiding.
brother,
I
you
think
don't
she was
trust
trying to
her?
be as helpful as she could.
You don't
What was
trust
that there,
Perhaps.
Ricard?
You don't trust her?
I do not. I find it hard to believe that there aren't any other arcane spellcasters in a city or a continent as large as this one. I find it odd that she wants us to track down some ancient city first. It seems like a waste of time.
I do feel it's much more of a long shot than just going and finding somebody else, perhaps. But I do get the large sense that she was desperate, and her father is definitely involved in something a lot bigger than himself, and she just doesn't know who to trust right now. And to answer your question earlier, Kara, let's say, because I get the impression that she's worried that maybe people are being listened to somehow, but let's say that there are people that are part of these larger organizations that her father and her are worried about.
And they're listening to her speak?
I get that feeling.
Wait, aren't they listening to us speak?
I think that's what they're worried about. I don't really know. I only live with one wizard, but would I know about things like scrying and all that type of stuff, Zach?
I'd say like it's close enough to I'd say in like a potentially academic capacity. Like you've probably read somewhere that like, in why you should be a wizard for dummies 101 like here's all of the magnificent stuff you can do if only you follow your pursuits of magic, like not literally
Worried that
like,
your husband is cheating on you? No, you can spy on him from a distance.
but now but kind of like that, right? Like people will oftentimes catalog spells, like let you know what sorts of things like there are out there, make you
Right.
study them so you know what kinds of magic you can encounter and figure out how to like defend against them, that sort of thing.
Okay. So Achilles will say there are definitely magics that I've heard about that allow you to sort of listen into people from a distance, but I mean, that could be what she's worried about. Like,
Hmm. Oh.
Should we,
Well,
should
that
we
makes
proceed with the assumption that we are being listened to? Is that what you are suggesting?
more like she's being listened to, but maybe because of what we've been saying, maybe we will be listened to.
Or to put it less in the realm of magics, let's imagine for a moment that you come from a noble family in a city that's fairly large, that has lots of people who are connected, and that if there is a problem, it is a problem. And you don't know who to trust because everyone is connected.
That's very fair.
See, and this is why I asked the mom if she knew if somebody didn't like her family. I think this is something like that, but she didn't know. She didn't give any specifics. I think there's other noble houses that are doing this.
It's entirely possible.
I would
I mean-
say that that's a good assumption.
I don't think we necessarily. I mean, if you already knew someone we could trust, I'd say let's go that way. But I don't know who to trust in Bastion. Do any of you?
Oh gods, no! I've barely been there.
I trust
Lorena.
Doric. I trust Dorigan,
Who?
the monk,
Monk
like
man.
me.
Oh, the one that you stopped to talk to on the road while we were not present.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote down Duranga. Did I write that down wrong?
I got Duragen.
No, Duranga is correct.
Oh, Duraga. Oh, okay. Once again, my spelling's
Yeah.
off. Duraga.
I just
Oh,
was
yeah.
so like whenever Ikara mispronounces things, I sort of just chalk it up to like an intentional character choice.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you're unsure, definitely ask me because I'm just gonna assume that you're
Role
playing
play.
the character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is definitely some mispronunciation choices, that's for sure. It being implied, but that was not what I'm thinking. So thanks for that clarification.
As long as Ikara pronounces the names wrong, it's fine.
Yeah. Just the names. Just the
Man,
names.
next time I'm playing a kid.
All
Yeah.
kid campaign after this.
Okay.
All wild magic sorcerer children.
Yes.
It's
I
just
like
a whole
it.
bunch of tieflings with a non-magical parent who's like, I don't know. They started teething, and then look, there's fire. I don't know.
Instead of like a magical school sort of like D&D game, it's all like a parent support group where the non-magical parents bring in their wild magic sorcerer
Yes.
to like go through support. And then like the children like put all the parents under sleep spells and go off on adventures. We have to be back in an hour or
Yes.
they'll wake up.
I'm gonna wake up. I timed it. So
Did you make sure to keep the cats out of the room the last time one of them bit them and woke all of them up?
oh yeah, it's true. One bite. That's all it takes.
We're retaining copyright for that concept.
Oh yeah.
No one else is allowed to take.
Yeah.
I think the Babysitters Club's already taken. Damn it.
Darn.
So
Darn
Achilles will say to everyone, well, what do you fancy? Going to the peaks, going to speak to the dragons, going to speak to Duranga, or potentially heading to the mountains? I imagine there would be signs and markers of old runes, like potentially that might be able to help lead the way, in a sense.
The
But-
peaks is the mountains. That's why I thought it was a good idea, because technically you will be going to the peaks, which is the same place as the mountains. So I'm not sure if it will be before we get to the dragons or after, but I was thinking we would come across them.
I personally would like to go to Nazim Mahagalatar, if possible. It sounds like a fascinating place.
Mm-hmm.
I worry that it's going to be difficult to find, but I do think she was sufficiently convinced enough that it is a place where the answers could be found.
Mm-hmm.
And if it is in the mountains, we're at least on our way towards the peaks, which is another place we'd like to go.
Mm-hmm. So we
I
could
believe
just
she
ask.
was.
Go ahead.
I believe she was suggesting we asked a ancient dragon for assistance as well.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a two birds, one stone situation. You know, we head to the mountains, and if we can't find Dazim Mahagalatar, then we can go to the peaks.
But
All right.
But didn't we also ask the dragons on what the specific
So-
item might be, right? Because we don't know
So-
what the item is. Oh, go ahead.
I also just want to clarify something while you guys are talking about this. If you're on the map, the
Mhm.
peaks are in the north of Bastion. They do not connect to the other mountain.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh, my bad. Oh, my
Yeah.
apologies. Okay.
No,
never
it's like no, you're completely good, but it's like a local chain It's like absorbed in the map by Bastion. I can put like a couple little drawings up there so we remember that there are actually some mountains in the north there. But yeah, they're literally like right there.
Oh,
So they're
okay.
like
'Cause,
2 days travel, maybe.
Oh, so the peaks are super close, and then
Yeah, they're
the
way
mountain.
closer than I thought they were.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Getting to like the very edge of this mountain range, which is a bit bigger, is about the same distance as trying to go back to the peaks.
Okay.
Wow.
That
Okay.
does complicate things.
Does
Hey, where
Um,
did Doranga's place? Where was that?
It's in the bottom of the peaks.
Mhm.
So Duranga's place is like. So basically, like, imagine like a mountain path that leads up into the mountains.
Mm.
His cabin is built like directly next to that mountain path that leads up. So like it's gonna be the closest building in the city to
Mhm.
the peaks because there's like the guard outpost right next to the peaks and then like his cabin.
Mhm. That makes sense.
So like basically, just to be explicit, if you were to head to the peaks, you'd have to go right by his house to get there.
Mhm.
Okay.
Unless you like flew over, which I don't think you all can do yet. But
Nope, not yet. I got a few
Yet.
more levels. Yeah, a few more levels.
Can I see one of those books, actually?
sure. Which one do you want to look at in particular?
I'll look at a normal one. Like the one that's not crossed out.
One of them seems to be about arcane magics. Like I was describing to Achilles, like something that you would read about the theory of the type of things that you can accomplish with magic. And maybe even it might get into some of the like components, but none of the actual like phrases or particulars that a wizard might use. And then the second book that is not marked off is a it's basically like it boils down to basically being like a treatise on what sorts of wildlife and whatnot there are that live in those mountains. So it's like a history of the mountains.
Okay. I'm specifically looking if there's any indications of where these books came from, like a stamp or anything like that.
Those two books are just like copied by scribes, like tomes that you could probably find in the Bastion library. The other one seems different in some way.
The marked off one.
Correct. The other ones are definitely typical books.
Alright. What can I roll to check out the marked off book?
Sorry, go one more time. I was
what can I
doing
roll
something
to
in the
check
background.
out the Oh, you're good. What could I roll to check out the marked book?
Good question. I hadn't thought about that. Let me think for a sec. I didn't actually. Never mind. That's neither here nor there. Go ahead and roll me. Investigation.
Investigation. Sweet. Ooh. We add that. What? A 13?
This is clearly a tome from some sort of like specific order. It's written in Celestial. Do you speak Celestial?
No. do not.
So we'll say that you've probably, being of a magical nature, you probably would have seen the language before and could recognize it thusly, but you do not speak it. So it's hard to get more.
Do any of you speak Celestial?
Achilles will answer in Celestial and then say, "Yeah, I do." In common.
Okay, good. I
can
didn't
also
know what you
speak
said at
Celestial.
first. If any of you want to look at this tome, I believe it is written in Celestial, from my knowledge, and it's a little strange. I'm not too sure what it's about.
Do you want to have a look there, Nubian? Otherwise, I have to go through Catherine as the intermediary.
I will translate to the best of my ability, though I'm concerned. The arcane is not exactly my expertise.
Well, how about we do it together then?
Oops.
So Catherine will hop up by Nubian and have a look at the book there as well.
I also roll investigation. Can I do? Wait, who? How do you want to do this?
Corinna is leading the investigation on the books. I am not trying to be a mean DM, but you are all working under limited time late at night, so you can definitely
Yes.
aid her investigation, but you can't. Make
Okay. Cool. So does that mean she gets advantage on the roll? Okay.
So go ahead and roll again, Serena.
Like Nubian and Achilles are doing that thing where they're like, no, that comes from the Eastern dialect. It means Lightbringer, and it's like, no, that's from the West. It means angel.
So are we? Unfortunately, we're mansplaining Celestial to her right now.
And fine with us.
Well, it's less even mansplaining it to her. She's not even listening to you anymore. You're just like arguing, like
eyes glazed over just before. She got a 9, by the way.
Oh damn!
She's like arguing. You're like arguing the finer points of like celestial linguistics, and Serena's like, why are you arguing about all of this? Like, I need you to help me search through the book.
I don't care where the verbs go.
Care.
I just want to know what it says.
I don't care if it's a ts or a ch. I don't care. Tell me what it says.
Zach, can I take the book about the mountain range and just do a very quick riffle through it to see if there are any maps or illustrations in the book at all?
So the unfortunate part about ancient, forgotten cities is that they aren't usually marked on the map. Although you are able to, just because as you're flipping through it, the name kind of pops, being very distinctive, you do find the name of it in there. It's written in the book the way that you might hear reference to like a folk tale almost.
Camelot.
Right? Yeah. I mean, sort of in a way, right? Like the round table. All you have to do.
But there's no like maps with like trade routes or like not even with the city itself on it. I'm just looking for like any sort of map at all or illustration at all.
There aren't any cities on the map. You gather that there probably are some villages. Oftentimes, like small villages aren't mapped. For example, Achilles' village wasn't mapped, if you recall. But that doesn't mean that they're not there. You could try searching out an unmapped village. That's probably easier to find than like a forgotten city. Maybe they have some knowledge on it, but there aren't any trade routes because there aren't any like actual cities.
Okay.
If that makes sense. Like it's not really civilized. There are going to be villages there, but it's not like a developed civilized area of the world.
Wow. Just a quick temperature check. Are we feeling like heading towards the peaks or trying to head towards Nazin Mahagalatar or trying to head towards Bastion itself?
Oh, are any of you good at navigating, specifically mountain ranges and things like that?
No, and I don't
good with
fancy my butt
the
getting
what?
frozen.
You know, I have a grand idea. Why don't we sleep in it? See if anything. First thing that pops in our head in the mornings, we do that one.
I agree. Though I may suggest that you all bring a few apples with you. I know that you all do enjoy your food, and we might be gone for a while.
I wonder
That's
if
a
they have
fair
any
point.
grapes.
You want to bring apples to bed?
No, on the road, like he means.
Well, if we're grabbing, if we're going through Bastion, we're going to need lots of apples, right? So,
Oh,
That's
We
Airlord.
needed
true.
at least a bit.
You mean Airlord?
no, if we're going to Bastion, which we would have to go to get to the peaks, I think,
Oh,
if I understood the directions,
yeah.
then we could go and stop and see our lovely friend Jonathan with a couple of bowls of apples, as we had
Oh.
indicated before, and then we could head to the peaks to see your Duranga folk. Or again, we could head to the west and look for the city.
Well,
Okay.
I think a night's contemplation, and then decide in the morning.
As you wish.
Sounds good.
So yeah, as they sort of prepare for bed and everything like that, Achilles will, get ready for bed and get his bedroll out and all that type of stuff, and then he'll remove his shirt and sort of like put it in his pack and everything nicely. And for anyone watching, you can see that the middle part of Achilles' back, you will notice that there is actually sort of very similar, almost like fur-like patterns like you would see on Catherine. So it's just a bit of like that orange and white fur just down the middle of his back that spreads out just a bit. And then he'll take his blindfold off and wrap that up and get to bed. And he's generally thinking about, as he's going to sleep. So Zach, this is going to be him pondering what might be the best course of action and seeing if he gets any strong feelings in the morning.
And Lillian finds a small spot and begins to do his meditation.
Generally, how far away does everybody feel? Not feel, but I'm gonna try and ritually cast alarm around us.
Okay.
So I just wanted to see how far away everybody is. 'Cause it's a 20-foot cube.
I imagine the barn isn't that big,
Yeah.
and I don't think we're spread out too far. I think we can manage it.
No, I mean, I suppose I didn't paint the picture especially well, but it's pretty big.
Oh.
You're in like a 15-foot by 25-foot empty space.
Gotcha.
Okay, yeah, I think we could. If you said something, I think we would gather close enough.
Yeah, I think Achilles will be as close as he needs to be to everyone. Space is not a huge issue to him when it comes to bedding down with people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Kara's the
Okay,
same.
so then, Serena will cast alarm around them. So it'll be a mental ping in her head.
Okay. You all wake up. Sorry.
Oh, Nezra has a nightly journaling thing that she gets all done and does her nightly ritual, and then she'll go bed.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I think we heard from everyone except Ikara.
Yeah,
What
Ikara.
is Ikara up to?
Ikara he would just mostly meditate for a bit, not long. Mostly pondering on this really unique city. And the more he continues to meditate, the more he realizes he doesn't really like the city. He was thinking about all the pros and cons that has happened from the city, and the cons has been much higher than the pros. Even the good friend Jonathan that Nazar referred to, he doesn't really like Jonathan that much because he was the one who was talking about Brian Dragon to begin with. And so he's he it takes a little bit for him most likely to center himself, and then eventually after he gets a nice stable calm after everything he's been exposed to today, that's when he goes ahead and falls asleep.
Yeah, he said he ain't spending another time on any
I will note that it's one of those things as well where you will see obviously Achilles his trade is being a blacksmith, so he has got like the arms and stuff like that.
The gun show.
He's got the guns. He's got
Guns and-
them all Popeye forearms from the
Popeye forearms.
So you all lay down to go to sleep for the evening, catch some rest, ponder all of the mysteries, and you awake the next morning to the light breaking through the room, and Achilles starting to move about. Disturbs the rest of you.
He will
Well-
make sure to prestidigitation himself clean in the morning because there's no shower.
Oh yeah, was there like a
so
bathhouse or
handy,
anything?
like.
So
Oh, there probably is, but I mean that's gonna be way
I'm-
quicker. Clean.
I'm going to go ahead and call the break here. We just
Oh.
finished a long rest, so it's a good time. You all
Exciting.
can off screen maybe discuss a little bit more like what you possibly want to do really quick, and we can get back into it hopefully with better game.
No worries. So again, thank you all so much for coming by and watching us. We're going to take what 10 or 15-minute break. How are you all
10,
feeling?
probably.
10 works.
Yeah,
Okay.
Then it's okay. Like,
Okay. So we'll
Let's
be.
just say we'll come back at the top of the hour. That'll be like 13. Oh nope,
Oh, no,
that's
that's
way
not-
off. That would
yeah,
be
that's way-
that'd be 23.
Yeah, 23 minutes.
10,
Yeah.
10-2, right? 10-2?
10
We come
10
back at
till,
10-2.
yeah.
10 till. Okay. All right. So we'll be coming back from 10 till from the top of the hour. So look forward to see you all soon when we switch you to a on break video. And again, thank you all for coming by, and we look forward to see you all soon. See you guys in a minute. Take care. right, let's see. Yep, we are now back. Thank you once again for watching It's Our World, episode 3. Once again, if you're enjoying what you're seeing here, would like to talk about the characters, perhaps do some fan art, maybe get some spoiler content, or ask some questions regarding some of the people here, you can join our Discord, and the Discord will just go perfect. Thank you, Point One Not, for putting in the Discord link in place. I appreciate it. You can join our Discord and then chat about the content. We Usriger says we're back. Yep, definitely. Also, we do have a hashtag in Twitter, which is hashtag It's Our World D&D. So we'll be definitely checking that in case you wanted to tweet out to us regarding anything regarding the campaign as well. So with that said, take it away, Fell Flames, for round 2.
All right, take it away, party. What are we doing?
Okay.
Okay, so as previously made canon, Desert ain't no morning person.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that her first order of business is going to be figuring out the whole breakfast situation so she can become human again.
And then,
Oh, what time again does Achilles wake up?
Like just before sunrise.
Well, yeah, basically, whenever the sun comes up, he's already good to go, ready to go, fully awake.
Is he leaving the barn?
Yeah, I think this morning what he's doing is because he hasn't been at the forge a few days, so he's probably doing a little bit of exercises in the barn. He's found a beam or something. He's doing a few pull-ups, just waiting for everyone to get up.
A Nubian would be doing martial arts practice because he sits he sleeps in that meditating pose.
Yeah. They probably would have gone out of the 20-foot mark, right?
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
100%. You cast it as an audible alarm, typically, right?
I would do it as a mental ping for her.
Okay. Well, ping, ping.
So Rena's gonna shoot straight up like, what? It's
Yeah,
looking.
you just look, Achilles is there in a beam, and he's pulling himself up. He hasn't put a shirt on yet. He's just
hey,
doing
Ikara's
pull-ups.
meditating in the corner. A slight draconic aura rotating around him. But he stays still. He didn't leave out
Hot boy shit.
Boy, shit.
I'm not sure if I can really be in that position just yet, except for the teenagers that may be watching it. But oh, man.
If you're 13 and watching this, don't.
Please get off stream.
Stream immediately gets banned.
Oh, man.
So Rena is just, she looks very tired. She's going to look at all of them and say, why are you awake?
The sun is
And
on.
drop down from the beam.
This is normal.
Not to be too fine of a point of it, but yeah, what she said.
Oh,
One of you carry coffee or tea?
It
I
still
can go
looks
find
dark
some.
outside.
Well, no, you can kind of feel there's a difference in the temperature. It's slightly warmer.
I don't feel. No.
At this point, Harold, the father, comes through with a plate of a loaf of bread, some cooked eggs, and what looks like it's probably some sort of bacon or ham that's been cooked on like a big platter. And he's like, well, I hate to hurry you on your way, but we've already got the apples being put into the cart, and then I suppose you'll have to be off then, out of here and away from here.
You, sir, are a gentleman. Thank you so much. What do we owe you for these apples, like?
Oh, no, nothing at all. The thing I love most about travelers is when they get on their way. So, just travelers be traveling, like to
Achilles will tap his nose.
see you get back to your traveling. So,
AKA Get
You're-
the boot.
Your voice is too loud for this early in the morning. I'm sorry.
Really? He sounds fine to me.
Well, like if you want to, if one of y'all is happy to sort of drive this cart or move this cart, I guess Nubian and I could spend a wee bit more time on our project from last night while we travel back that way.
Are we taking the cart? That was Aaron asking. Are we invited on this cart?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that would be a good.
Yep, Harry
to
has
start.
offered to take you all back to the city where you'll be far, far from here.
Is it just me? Like this feels like a marked change in like his disposition towards us as beings, living, breathing beings. So like does he seem particularly pissed off at us?
Insight is y'all's favorite check, huh? I guess roll me an insight check.
He was super chill with us showing up in the middle of the night. And today he's like, and out.
You guys gotta go.
25.
Damn.
You
I got good
gather
insight.
he has burned through his chill and probably was never cool with it the whole time.
Oh.
Okay. Thank you. So
You
much.
also have the impression with that high of a roll that he may have discovered something through the night that has made him more uncomfortable. You can't be sure exactly what that is, obviously, but that he probably learned something during the night that made it worse and tipped him over the edge.
Shoot. Thank you. You're incredibly kind. We will pay for a couple of bushels of apples. I think that's what they're in, and cart. And thank you. And then mind link to Achilles first.
Okay.
Well, crap. I don't think that he is happy with us.
Well, that's okay. I mean, we're hopefully going to sort out this whole mess. And, a nice ride in the cart gives us time to look through that book some more.
Yeah, we'll talk more when we're not in his presence.
This bacon is real good. Like, I think they might smoke it themselves.
He doesn't stay very long after you finish speaking with him, so you have the freedom to speak again.
Soretta's gonna crawl towards the bacon.
Applewood smoked bacon.
Is all of that really necessary? I feel like you all should, well, I suppose, to each their own.
Do you have a
Oh, I
grape
don't
or
know if
something left over?
I don't only eat grapes.
You eat bread.
And I could eat anything I want. But just don't eat much.
Indulge us a little. Eat a whole slice of bacon, please.
Maybe you'd eat a piece of bacon.
Just a piece. Just a
A full piece of bacon, or like you break off a small piece of a piece and eat that?
Eat a full piece of bacon.
Oh wow.
Yay!
Oh,
Do it again. Do it
Soretta will
again.
clap.
The audience, and by the audience I mean just Ursa, wants you to eat your grits.
I don't know if they gave us grits.
It might explain why you're so fast, like, because, you always keep yourself light.
Yes, well, I simply don't need to eat much. It's a gift. Once you can become connected with with yourself, you find you don't need very many things.
I can't do that. I still need to eat. I'm fast, but I still need food.
You're a growing boy, Kai. You're going to need to eat.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I never really got out of that phase, but,
Mm.
All right, so and you can see like Nezra kind of like literally shakes the grumpiness off of her, kind of comports herself back to her normal, happy, cheerful self, and it's like, okay, so breakfast accomplished. We have a cart ride back to Bastion with the. Does anyone know the going price for a bushel of apples? Because I'm certainly not taking it without paying somehow.
No.
Like
But
one apple, like 8 copper. That's got to be like markup, right? So
we could probably ask old Harold or Harry when we're in the cart. Just
Harry.
leave something with him.
that's fair.
Such a focus on money.
All right, then I say we get out of here before our welcome is yet more overstayed.
Yeah. Achilles finishes dressing, puts his blindfold back on, ties nicely. All right, Catherine hops up on his shoulder.
Oh, wait. Is Harry taking this, or are we driving the cart?
Harry's taking
I
this.
believe so. Yes.
Mhm.
Okay.
Shall we get to work?
Yeah.
As we
Thank yous.
exit the barn,
Oh.
how big is the cart?
Enough to carry quite a bit more apples than it currently is, but it's not like a riding cart. Like one or two of you could probably climb up in it, and the horses would still be able to move. Like if you all try to just, like sit, like cross-legged or something in the wagon, it would probably just like break.
So conceivably, Nubian and Achilles could sit in the back.
Probably just be crowded. Sorry.
Achilles and Nubian could probably sit in the back, and the rest of us could walk alongside or switch out or whatever. Yeah.
Sure. I mean, two people I would say could fit in the cart very comfortably, with the apples that are in there.
Yeah, Kara can definitely walk. He's a speedy boy.
Do we have paper and writing
Like-
stuff?
The car is like tapping the horse,
Question.
like race me, bro.
Let's do this. Let's do this. Naruto run.
Just like, come on.
Come on.
It does not say I have any paper, but would it be conceivable that we have some paper?
It says I have a scroll case with notes from my studies, so I don't know, would that be enough for me to have blank pieces of paper? DM?
How good of a study were you? If you weren't a very good study, you probably have a lot of blank
I
paper.
was studying for enlightenment on my journey, so I don't know. So I think it'd be a full DM call there.
Sorry, what do your notes look like? Enlightenment. 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 Check.
Enlightenment.
Nezra gets punched with a spectral hand.
I'll say you're pretty easily able to find at least a scrap to write some stuff down on.
As they work, Nuvian is going to try to translate the book so that way the more magical people can read it in common.
So who's rolling the investigation check there, you or Achilles?
Investigation is not my strongest skill. So.
All right. So would I do that with advantage, DM?
Yep.
And we are spending the entire cart ride back to Bastion working on this. So much better. 18.
So you're able to gather from this tome that also, by the way, while I'm explaining this, everyone else roll me a perception check.
Oh.
So Serena, Nezra, and Ikara.
Okay.
You all are able to gather that this civilization was highly magical, and therefore the city probably is like more magical based on the writings than society even is today. Like some knowledge and spells were probably lost when the age changed over and this civilization fell away. So you're able to determine that they certainly, based on what you're reading, would have had the knowledge on how to do something like removing a curse. Your best guess is that the item that you would be looking for, piecing together what you read, and sort of Achilles' typical arcane knowledge as a wizard, is that there's some sort of spell scroll that you might find somewhere there with the capability to remove a curse. That is more likely than a specific magical item whose function is to remove curses.
Well, I think that's definitely a step in the right direction. Don't you agree, Nubian?
I think so. If you don't mind me saying, that was quite good work, Achilles.
Well, thank you. I prefer the language, to be honest. It's got a lovely ring to it.
It looks like there will be a lot of opportunities to speak Celestial if you like. It's always a bit to practice. Brush up on it.
I would be delighted. Absolutely delighted. How did you come by learning it yourself, like?
During my early years at the monastery, it was something that we did to focus ourselves. My friend Gothi at the time chose to study Inferno, and I want to prove that I was every bit as competent as she was. I picked Celestial, and here we are.
There's nothing quite like a little bit of friendly rivalry to spur one along. I always say competition is good for the soul sometimes.
I couldn't agree. Shall we let the others know what we found out?
No, indeed.
What did you all roll on your perception checks?
23.
18.
Twins.
23
and 18.
Yeah.
Nice.
So you are all able to recognize that Harry seems to be watching Nuvian and Achilles carefully while they're holding the book. It's very unclear why, but he is sort of like, he's doing the thing where he like turns back and he's like, y'all doing good back there? Like just a few too many times that it becomes kind of obvious. And like every time he looks back to ask, he's like watching what they're doing with the book. And you're all kind of aware of this. With 18 and 23, I'd say you all know that information.
I'd like to walk up next to the driver's seat or whatever and speak to Harry for a bit. Harry.
Nezra?
I have a question for you.
He gives you back the, I have an answer for you, Nezra.
I hope so. Your father, Harold, did not seem particularly happy to see us this morning.
Well, he's rarely happy to see anyone. He's kind of a grumpy old guy, I suppose, in a manner of speaking.
I mean, he was quite friendly towards us last night. Gave us use of his barn, gave us some food. But today, I couldn't help but feel that perhaps something had transpired during the night that had soured his opinion on us. Did something happen?
Like, what can you imagine?
I can imagine being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
I gotta stop reading Ursa. He broke me for a second there with the start answering question, Harry Potter. Yeah. So he says, well, I imagine that your impression is probably correct, though I do not personally have knowledge on what he might have discovered that he was displeased with.
Did he say anything to you, Harry, indicating that maybe he was displeased with you?
Good morning. Have a safe journey. Not typically the phrase is used as an expression of displeasure, though.
So no. All right.
No.
I mean, if it is our presence that disturbed him, then I'm glad that we could leave and ease his mind.
I'm guessing he was rather worried that you would discover what I came out and told you.
Oh, I wasn't aware that he was in on it per se. Gotcha. Well, that does actually allay a lot of my concerns.
It does worry me a bit that perhaps he's onto us and might end up being displeased with me whenever I should return. But fortunately, I've decided that I'll be journeying with you until we finish this task.
Oh. Well, I am certain we will be glad of the company.
I should think so. I'll be glad to have your company as well.
Did you have any opinion on our headings, destination?
Adventure is a puzzle. I'm along for the journey to aid you. I don't suppose I should insert myself into what the best way to solve the problem is, though. Certainly 5 heads are better than 1.
6 with you? No, I just... How do I put this delicately? I am certain that you have a lot of experience with apples. How much experience do you have with not apples?
An exceptional amount.
Okay,
So
let me
you could
be
be
more clear.
more.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes.
he
I
going to
can
say,
see that you're
but
going
you
to be
could
very
more
literal about
specific.
this. Yeah. Harry, can I see a weapon on him?
Him and his father were both carrying longswords. Actually, roll me a perception check. You got like pretty close to him to walk by him. The DC will be relatively low, like a 10 or 15.
Okie dokie. Don't fail me now. I got a 10 exactly.
I'll say it's hard to tell what, because his clothing has been pulled up in such a way as to fully cover it. But you can tell that there's something beneath his shirt, like something being worn beneath his shirt. And he does have a longsword strapped to his hip still. They both did last night, though, so that's not different. Something under his shirt is different.
I would imagine that with your travels, you have to be very well armed or prepared for, I don't know, bandits, rogues, thieves.
Well, yes, I suppose bandits typically would rather target someone with no weapon than a man carrying a sword, even if he is alone, I suppose.
Have you seen much use of that sword?
Ah, that is a very personal question, Ezra.
Is it?
Well, usually, yes.
Well, it's just if you have decided to join us, I feel it's fair to know what capabilities you bring with you. There are words I cannot say on Twitch right now. Between Harry and Elia.
He sees the look on your face and he's like, look, if you want me to say it straight, I think that I could duel you in combat right now and win.
Honestly, I would like to see you try somebody else. I'm not much of a fighter myself, but like, I think watching you and, I don't know, Nubian taken on would be fun. Maybe if we stop somewhere, we can watch the fight. Yeah. Okay. Phrase
I
it.
think
But
I
still.
think that perhaps it might be unfair.
I mean, I've never seen him fight, so I guess I don't know if it would be unfair. Another time then. Well, if you need anything, let me know,
Very well.
and I will start walking slower so that he outpaces me just a bit.
The cart
You know-
starts to slow down. No. You fade into the background, and he resumes his behavior of watching
Yeah.
them intently.
Once
But subtly, just not like it is subtle. You can tell it's subtle. You just also mark what he's doing.
once they're done with their book studies for the day or for the ride or whatever, yeah, Achilles will say to the group, well, at least we have a better idea of what we're looking for now, which is a start.
Oh, what did you find?
Oh, I mean, likely it would be if we could find somewhere in that city that has its own library or sources of paper materials. It's better than stumbling around thinking, I wonder if that brick is magic. We're looking for like, papers or scrolls or some such. That would be a better target.
Oh,
In your studies, did you find anything more about the location?
Not too much other than what was it there near the end? That's this hyper magical society, very old. So
It was apparently a very advanced society, which concerns me because generally advanced societies don't fall apart easily. So we should be prepared that there may be something of danger there.
I
Well, that's mostly true, Nuvian. This is Harry speaking up from the cart. But he's like, do you know what can defeat any society?
starvation.
Dragons.
mhm.
Time.
Oh,
Oh,
Stay a
I think
big
greed.
explosion, actually.
That too.
There is some of that going around right now, I suppose. Very strange.
Yep. On the mind. Sorry.
So I was thinking, like, if there is this is not something I can do, but my mom was pretty good with it because sometimes people would bring in items to, want to trade or something and say, oh, this is super magical, you can get money for it. She was able to tell whether something actually was magical or not. I do not have that skill myself. I don't know if any of you possess it. But if we are in the mountains and we're able to use that, it might help us pick up a bit of a ping at least of something a wee bit more magical. And I imagine advanced societies, they're going to be markers and such which are left on the road in some way or fashion.
So I believe that is most likely. Though I imagine we should be careful about running across the odd animal while we're searching. So perhaps you don't bring too much of your food with you.
I was thinking about that. Like one of those books was about Serena. You were looking through one of the other books, right? Did you see anything about the local wildlife in the region that we might need to be careful about?
I just glanced over it, but you're more than welcome to look at it.
I shall do so.
Were you spending the basically the whole journey looking at the other book? Because that's
Yes, yeah.
I
Spending the
was
whole
more
journey looking at the other book.
narrating that over the whole time. As opposed
Yeah.
to-
This is I imagine that this conversation would be happening whenever we're closing in on
closing in
Kingston's.
on Bastion. Okay.
Yeah.
So do you want to try to give it a quick glance as well, or are you gonna wait for later to try to study it a bit more detailed? It's like the DC gets affected by how much time you.
I will wait for later to look at that other book just about the wildlife in the area.
Well, then, you all will say are pulling up to the front of the city. They actually don't seem to ask too many questions about you all this time. As you are traveling with Harry, and he clearly has like goods that he's bringing into the city. They just sort of let him pass instead of, demanding answers on why he would dare bring apples to the city to trade. You actually pick up on like a recognition, like a nod of recognition or two from people in the city.
Is Dave on gate duty this morning or this afternoon, evening, whenever we're there?
Whom? Sorry.
Guard Dave. Is he on
Our
gate
good
duty?
boy, Dave.
Oh, well, you remember he was posted at the other gate, so
Okay.
if he's working, he's probably over there. I mean, you could go look for him if you wanted.
No, I was just wondering.
Yeah, he does not seem to be posted at this gate today.
Is it a reasonable hour to direct Jonathan to drop off the to direct Harry to drop off the apples at Jonathan's stall? Or is it too late?
Not really. You all went like straight through and back. It's starting to get kind of dark.
Okay.
Harry, do you have a place that you normally stay here in town?
Oh yeah, the Yawning Tail.
Of course you stay there.
Well,
No, I'm just messing with you. I usually stay at the Gilded Table.
Oh, fancy. We were at the Rope Homestead last time.
It's a good one.
I could not complain about the man's bacon or coffee, so I'm down for the Rope Homestead again if you all are.
I mean,
It's fine with me.
All right. Well, I suppose I will join you all there then.
You're joining us?
Well, I certainly don't expect you to allow me in your room, but I figure we might as well stay at the same inn.
Wait, are you coming?
Oh, yeah,
with,
Nivian,
are you
while
coming
you-
with us?
yeah, while you were reading, Harry told me he decided he was going to join us.
Oh,
Is that wise?
I mean, honestly, why not?
He has
Do you
a
not
so-
think his abilities might be more useful somewhere else?
Kind of scrawny. Can he even hold that sword that he was?
I forget what was the physical description of Harry. I know you gave it before, but
I thought he was like
remember.
lean. I thought he was like thin, like tall and thin or
Puffy?
something. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got some muscle, but yeah, it's lean muscle. He's not like bulky. I mean, he's not like.
It's not swole like Achilles.
He ain't no blacksmith.
But you do see that his like eye kind of like twitches as he's like listening over to you all, but trying to pretend like he's not. Like when Thorina speaks up, he's like kind of like.
Knowing full well that he is eavesdropping, Nezra will be like, I mean, it is a little bit suspect that he just decided for himself that he was joining us. To be fair, I'm not entirely certain that I joined you. It's kind of a big old carnival of ne'er-do goods, ne'er-do bads, ne'er-do poorly.
Makes you feel any better. I more accurately view this as you all joining me, as I was going to be the one to look for the fallen city before Elia decided that you all would be accompanying me.
Ah.
I think that is fine. I honestly, you know, you have a vested interest in what's going on here, so I don't think it's a problem.
So you can fight, right? You're strong?
I'm strong.
Okay. So I don't have to worry about protecting. Okay, just making sure.
It's been so
Many different types
disrespected.
of strength.
This man has been so disrespected in the last 5 minutes.
Well, I don't.
Ikara didn't mean anything of it. He was gonna look after the dude, you know what I mean, if he came by, but then he was saying, "Oh, you're strong. Okay, you don't have to worry
Like
about it."
Akara is like 12, and it's like, oh good, I won't have to protect you.
Yeah.
I feel like
It-
Serena would have like snorted a little bit when he said that he was gonna go to the city to find the stuff. She'd be like,
Ikara was like, "Oh man, I was just trying to figure out if you were gonna be dead weight or not. Because if you were, like, I'd have to make sure you don't die, because that would reflect poorly on me."
As a fighter, would I be able to look through Catherine's eyes and just give him the once over to see if his physical form and movements have the telltale signs of somebody who is trained?
Roll me an intelligence check.
Okay.
fun.
This is what I tend to use, by the way, just for anyone who might be listening and for you all. When, like, your character is trying to make, like, a connection to something through research or memory, I'll typically just use, like, a generalized intelligence check.
16.
It seems familiar, but it's some sort of different form. Like, he doesn't fight like a fighter that's been trained as, like, a man-at-arms or like a knight even. His movements are different. I'm trying to think of how to describe it, but it belies a different style of some sort.
More unorthodox, like unorthodox style, or self-taught, perhaps, or
Potentially. It just does not belie like a sort of traditional style of fighting.
But does indicate that he has an
Yeah, no,
ability.
I mean,
Yeah.
you tend to see with martial people like a certain posture, a certain way that they carry themselves, a familiarity with like just sort of like in their head they kind of always know where the sword like is.
Yeah,
They're always
they know how to walk.
Yeah, like he clearly has all of that, but the movements, his movements aren't really like a traditional either strength-based or dexterity-based fighter, because you've trained with both, and neither of it strikes that particular style.
Okay. So noticing this, Achilles will say, "Well, I don't know. I think our man Harry can handle himself. You look like you can handle yourself. So, we're happy to be joining you, I guess."
yeah, I trust him.
Well,
He said he could take care of himself.
I was merely suggesting that he may be better used back where the person who may or may not be in some sort of situation may be needing help in the future, perhaps.
Oh.
She kind of left your father there by himself.
He can fight.
He literally like he snorts back at you just like Serena did to him a minute ago. He's just You all don't really know your history, do you?
No, I'm not from here.
Does Serena need to roll?
You can. Yeah, Serena has the best chance of knowing, I would say.
All right.
Yeah, we come from a different continent. There's no way I'm knowing about this dude.
Julian doesn't even particularly care.
So it's a 19.
You actually don't know in connection with what, but you had heard the name Harold Haronda before you came to the orchard. You just you like, and you remember that now that you've known that name from somewhere prior, but you don't know exactly where from.
Okay. So she'll just. Well, I may have heard your father's name once or twice, but I guess I'm not too familiar. Sorry.
Nothing to apologize for. Many of you are travelers. And no offense, but you don't look like the most martial of people, Serna.
I'll have you know that. Just like.
Let me speak with your manager, Mr. Harry Rhonda.
The Karen is coming out. Oh, man. Okay.
Jesus. Well, go ahead.
Well,
The disrespect.
as long as they're safe, that's cool, I guess. Because it sounds like there's a lot of people that may be causing problems.
Well,
So
let's just say that my father was the one that trained me. So if you're willing to believe that you can trust my abilities, then you can trust his as well.
Okay.
But if he's unaware of the situation, is he going to be able to actually provide aid?
What makes you think he's unaware of the situation?
Mostly your comments on the road, but
No, he wanted you all to remain unaware of the situation because he didn't trust you and believed that we should handle it ourselves. I wanted to give Elia a personal choice in the matter.
understood. All right. Well, then I feel much better about Elia and Daniel being in his capable hands. It is like sunsetish.
Yeah, I mean, like, as you all have been talking, you've been coming into town, heading towards the inn, and the sun has been, like, setting as you all spoke.
Do you reckon that the library closes when the sun goes down?
Suppose it depends who you are.
My name is Nezra.
You might want to come up with something better, because I'm not sure I'm Nezra is going to cut it. If you get what I mean.
Would you like to go now, Nesra?
Well, I was wondering if maybe we could impress upon either Lady Celia or maybe Father Gerald to help us gain some access to the library. I don't know if it's a great idea to talk to Lady Celia, but we can tell her that. I mean, we do have good news to tell her, but maybe we should wait.
You're going to tell her that she's safe, but you refuse to tell her any of the details associated with that?
Well, she told us that what she wanted most of all was the knowledge that her daughter was alive. And we can definitely do that. For now. But given the situation, I don't want to say, yes, she's safe, and then she become unsafe, and I become a liar.
But also, it'd be a good idea in case people are watching or listening.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
I think it would probably be better for the woman if we do not speak to her right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because likely the comings and goings there are monitored.
Mm-hmm. I thought so too. Because they seem to listen to people. So she probably is what.
However, Mr. Harry, if you would join me for a drink while these others are going off to the library, I would more than happy enjoy the conversation.
Fair to me. I can't personally get you into the library. Perhaps the people you were talking about can assist. I'm not certain. I just know that um, there are certain privileges associated with the hours that you use the library, and also the areas of information that remain restricted or not.
I think that we should hit up our friend brother Gerald.
Serena might have a way to get into the library without asking anybody.
I bet she does.
Is this the kind of way where you have to run in order to get out?
No. If it works, no. Hopefully.
It inspires so much confidence.
The peaceful part of our campaign has come to its end.
We had a good run.
So
3 episodes of. I think maybe that can be Plan B for. Best not do that. But Plan A could be go to the temple, talk to Brother Gerald, and see, because he, does have these connections to the noble families. That's how we got into all of this anyway. Maybe he can get us into it.
Well, maybe there's a few other people that we know that, well, I know. What I'm saying is,
He is for the best plan.
You all can go to Brother Gerald if you wish. I am going to go see what I can do at the library.
I will join Serena at the library.
Yes. I do not want to get kicked out of a library.
Hopefully that will not be the
I will join you.
result.
Trust your experience in these matters.
All right.
Achilles will be buying Harold or Harry some drinks.
Yeah, you guys are going to drink and have a little bit of a conversation. Ikara, what would you like to do?
Oh, I guess the library. He's just confused as to what.
Ikara's like, I guess I'll go to the library. I don't know if I can read books here, man. I don't know.
I know I can't drink.
This place is weird.
Yeah, this place is weird. That's pretty much he's thinking the entire time. He's just gonna follow suit to the library, I guess.
Okay. So you all begin making your journey to the library, and we'll have a quick chat between Achilles and Harry. Was there anything in particular that you wanted to talk to him about it, or otherwise can you summarize sort of the goal of the conversation?
So 2 goals. Number 1, he wants to sort of find out through conversation if Harry's interest in the lie is more than just protection. Number 2, if it's not, he's going to do his best to flirt. And that's the goal of the situation.
You gather from the first bit that... Go ahead and make me an insight check.
All right.
Achilles is pretty knowledgeable about this kind of stuff, but let's be.
16.
Yeah, so you can tell that he does have some additional interest in her, and you can tell this because of the way that he flat out refuses to acknowledge it. There's like a, oh, no, man, and there's a, no, why would you think that? I just know, like, some guy at an orchard and a noble woman, that would never work. That's ridiculous, Achilles. You're much more in that second category.
Yeah.
Like, nah.
No, you have a crush on her.
In that case, he will do his best to encourage Harry to actually confess to the girl because no one is above anyone's station.
Okay.
But this game is just PSAs all the time.
Each episode has to have at least one. At least one.
I mean, that's what happens when you're in an anti-murder hobo party, right?
Yep. Yep, pretty much. PSA.
The real treasure was all the friends we made along the way.
Yep.
Exactly.
All of Bastion. All of Bastion.
Roll me. What did I just have you roll? Insight.
Oh, everyone?
Oh no, you.
Well, no, for Achilles. Did I
Okay.
just have you roll insight for that? I think I did. I'll say that with the same insight check, you get the impression that he probably already has. He probably already has confessed it to her at some point.
Okay.
He doesn't like give away how that might have gone, but you could press him about it if you wanted to.
Nah, one press.
Okay.
Just hopefully gaining those +1 relationship points.
You gather that it goes pretty well. And he seems like similarly to the guards that you've met and seen, and like the sort of volunteer men-at-arms at the village that you've made weapons for before. Like
Mhm.
this tends to be a pretty comfortable environment for him, like sitting and having a beer and chatting over it. Like you
Nice.
definitely landed on something familiar for him.
Nice.
Yep.
All right, cool. Yeah, that's all I need to do.
Okay. Sounds good. You all have made your way to a library. It is huge. Like bizarrely freaking huge. It's got to be at least 3 separate floors, which is not a common architecture pattern.
Well, do we have a plan, Serena?
Yep. Go to the front door and, check their hours, see if they're still letting normal people in, and if not, we'll go from there.
It does not seem to be. When there's no daylight coming in, there's all these expenses with candles, and it's just really problematic, having the staff to support everyone all hours of the day is just, it's a cost the city can't afford. And you've heard all of that before, so the hours are, like for a normal person would have ended already. You also know for a fact that you can bypass that if you want to.
Mhm. So I guess, do we knock on the door? Is there like a kiosk or something?
There's not like a kiosk. You can see someone on the inside at a desk, reading by candlelight. So you get the impression that they would hear you if you knock.
Right, and she will knock gently on the door.
Okay. You see movement as the person kind of gets up. They bring a candle on a candlestick holder, sort of with them in their hand, and they sort of like hold it up to the glass pane in the door so they can look through. You don't seem to be particularly murderous right off the bat, so he kind of opens it up a bit, and he says, "Hello, can I help you?"
Hi, good evening. We were wondering if we could go into the library and peruse some of the books for just a little bit, not too long.
For what purpose?
Just kind of look at everybody else.
Research. Geographic research, mainly.
What region?
The surrounding mountains.
Could you come back in the morning? This seems like an odd time to be working on a geographical survey. Surely it can't be that important.
Actually, quite important, sir. We really won't take up too much time.
I'm gonna DM you something, Serena.
Okay.
Have to be
I'm gonna
abandoned.
DM you
Let's see.
something.
Oh no.
I'm about to ban from the city.
Hey, Kara wouldn't mind. He hates the city anyway.
You thought you were going to enter a library. You entered a portal.
Yep. I'll go back home. Okay.
Okay. Serena will reach into her bag and she's going to pull out a little scroll. And she's going to try her best to hide it from everybody and just kind of flash it really quick to the guy.
Wait, what?
Oh, my apologies, miss. If you wouldn't mind following me, I'll help you find the geographical section. It shouldn't be too much trouble. We have plenty. Many people have interest in those mountains. Just follow me.
Yes, thank you.
Have you brought some friends with you?
Yes, the group behind me.
Ah, okay. Just certainly make sure they keep their behavior if you don't mind. Follow me.
Of course. Come on, everyone. Let's go.
Nezra is boring like into the
Yeah.
back of your head.
Yeah, like did we?
It's like-
I'm pretty sure we at least saw some movements, right? Did we see some head movements?
Yeah, and, you saw her like pull something out of her pocket and like show it to him, and then put it back really quickly. You don't get a sense of like what it was
What?
exactly, but she clearly like pulled something out of her pocket, showed it to him, and put it back.
Okay.
Well, miss, thank you for getting us into the library.
Of course.
Are we pretending like that did not just happen?
No.
Hello, follow me, please. Don't fall behind. Don't fall behind.
Do you want to fall behind? Come on.
Oh, God.
We are in a library. There is not very many places to fall behind.
This
Well, no,
is
this
the largest library I've ever seen in my life.
It's huge, man. Like it's huge.
I'm a little bit worried that as I try to leave, I'm just going to end up somewhere around, like, I don't know, taxation records from 100 years ago or something.
Like this library is probably almost as big as the land that your whole monastery was on. It's huge.
Oh wow. Oh.
And 3 floors. But yeah, so that's why he's telling you, like, as you're walking through and winding through, like, don't fall behind, and he leads you to a seemingly random, but there must be some level of organization section up the stairs on the 2nd floor, and to the right a little bit. And he leads you in there and is like, well, here's what we have on those mountains. Should be these 2 bookshelves here on the left and the right.
Thank you.
So sorry, I didn't catch your name.
My name? Oh, it's not many people ask me that. My name is Barald.
Barald, absolutely my pleasure. I am not, I've traveled around, but I'm not completely familiar with the mountains. Could you describe to me where would I best look if I'm looking for more historical texts about the mountain range to the west and more modern texts about the mountains to the north, like the peaks in this kind of area?
The peaks? Well, the Dragon Riders don't really expose much of their information, so if any of it is cataloged, I suppose it must be somewhere up there. Some other library. Perhaps there's some restricted section around here where they keep them that I'm unaware of, and not sure I've seen all of the basement after all, but perhaps there's something down there. But seems like an odd place to store books that are that valuable, where they could certainly be damaged by any sort of rainfall that might be going to the ground or some such. But I guess the answer to your question is you'll probably be able to find whatever history might be available on that other mountain range and these two sections right here.
Do any of us actually know what the name of that mountain range is called? The one that's going towards the crater formerly known as Erlorn.
Yeah, let me. I would say like Serena and Nezra definitely would. I put it in chat for you.
Okay, so I'm looking for the Morelia Mountain Range.
Yep, as I stated, left and right here. Miss, if you wouldn't mind keeping your eye on them, they seem a bit slow.
Yes.
I just don't want any trouble, and I don't want any damage to come to the books.
Oh, of course.
Harold, you hurt my feelings.
I do not like this person.
Well, my feelings have sort of been hurt by old age. I truly don't think I have very many years left, so I've learned to just be honest as I see the world.
But we're not
Well,
slow.
I'm
We're
certain
fast.
that we can take it from here. Is he gonna buzz off?
Right? Yeah. No. He walks by and like looks at Serena and is like, and then just walks out of sight. He does actually light and leave another candle for you.
So,
Like
Serena.
he said it takes.
Serena's gonna walk away.
So, Serena. Okay, mountains first. Questions later. Can I look for any books that might contain maps and or geographical features of the Morelia mountain range?
Yeah. Pretty widely available in this section, I would say. Takes you a bit of time combing through in the dark, but you could definitely find that. What would you like to know about it?
I'm looking for maps in particular, and I'm looking for any reference to Nazir, Muhaga, Latar. Nazim.
Yeah,
Nazim,
you see one or two more references. They're not especially frequent, but you do see one or two more references throughout other books to the city. Again, referring to it largely as like a folktale, like Camelot, so to speak. You as far as maps, you can find them. The city is not present on any of the maps that you've found, the same as it wasn't in the other book. But yeah.
But do these maps have like paths already marked out, or any historical? Because they're historical maps. Even like ye old beastie, like ancient cartographers and IRL, where they're like, oh no, here's the Leviathan, or whatever. Like anything like that.
You can see a relative path that kind of like goes way up, winds around, and goes down to Erlorn. That was probably like carved out, but it's very undetailed. It's like, here's a 3D topographical drawing, and I've like drawn the thing and then made an arrow where the path comes back in, and then like wound it around to the bottom, and I'm like, this is a point where it leads to Erlorn. Like, that's the level of map that it has. It's not like a detailed top-down survey of like how to make your way through the mountains. It doesn't look like people ever really traveled there. The roads were built around it.
But I could find maybe the head of that road, like where that road branches.
Where it starts and where it ends. Sure,
Yeah.
yeah. No, that's present.
Okay. This is a bust. Nuvian, did you find anything?
No, at least nothing relevant. So clearly, what we're doing.
What are you reading? Like shipping manifests or something?
No, Nuvier would have been looking for any hints of other dragon monks, primarily.
There don't seem to be any of them that live in those mountains. At least not that you're able to find in the couple hours that you guys are there looking through recorded history.
If he would have had time, he also would have checked for any records of unique martial artists in this event civilization.
You mean if there's any reference to like special martial arts that they may have like known,
Yeah.
or like legendary recorded like martial artists?
Both, or anyone with similar abilities to himself as well.
There doesn't seem to be any reference to that. Like, as previously mentioned, all of the references to the city are largely in the context of like, here's this thing that some people are silly enough to believe that Camelot is real. Like, here's a silly thing where some people are silly enough to believe that there's actually a place called Nazin Mahaga Latar.
Are there any like I don't know, King Arthur's or Knights of the Round Table or religions or cultural, like, is there anything cultural attached to the mentions of the city? Does he
Again, the sort of pieces reiterated of like talented in the arcane arts.
Okay, that's all we get out of that.
Like beyond the magic that the world is capable of today. In that way, it's similar to like a Merlin, right? It's like it's like a lost trove of Merlin's magic, which the world has never known since.
I feel like
Ikara, did you find anything?
Oh no, I didn't know what we were doing here, so I was just sitting and meditating.
You didn't
Actually,
find like
Aw.
complaint tablet in Nazir or something?
Actually, Akara, you did notice one book that had a pretty cool drawing of a silver dragon on the front. That was pretty dope.
I did? Oh, okay. I would have grabbed that one. What was inside of it? Was it just a picture, or was it a pretty cool book? Just a picture, or was it actually a book?
No, it's actually a book, but it's like it's kind of like a trap. It's like there's this really cool dragon on the front, and it's actually just like about the geography of the wildlife, or not the geography and wildlife on the mountain. Like, it's one of those where they put a really cool cover, and it was like da 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 da, and like the introduction is like, it's rumored that maybe silver dragons lived here at some point.
I got the variant cover. The variant cover.
Yeah.
Oh
in
no.
In the introduction, and then you flip it, and it's like, so now we must discuss in great detail the various rock formations that constitute the Morelia Mountains of
And clothes.
etc. etc. Like, the car is like, give me back that part about the dragon.
Yeah, exactly. False advertisement. False advertisement. Yeah. So Carlos says, yeah, the book I found was trickery. I don't like this library.
It's trickery.
Trickery.
Yeah, they had a cool dragon on the front, but there was nothing about dragons in it. They tried to put it in there so therefore people could take a look, and then they switch and bait you. That's not right. I want to find who the writer is and say to change the cover to look like a mountaintop. It'd be true to life. But it's okay. It's okay. I still get to
Where's
talk.
there-
Is Serena within eyesight? Did she walk far enough away that we can no longer see her?
She probably would have. She probably would have come back by now. She's got like a handful of books. Like, you guys never would have guessed. I found the cooking section, and she's just like, "There's this one recipe that you use a duck, but you chop its head off,
Oh,
And put it inside of a chicken. And
A
put that
turkey.
inside of a turkey.
Nope. Rewind. That is not That is not canon. It does not exist.
Serena just read it in a book. What are you talking about?
No turduckens in this universe.
The book was never written. No, it's impossible. They should have read it. It was never written
No.
in this universe.
You just like Thanos snapped a whole culinary art.
Yeah.
I mean, art. Yeah.
Art, abomination, potato.
Like, and then there's this other one about butterflies. I think Akara might like it.
Oh, okay.
So
Is it-
we did research and you did nothing.
Yes.
I can respect your honesty.
Serena be like, I wouldn't have put it that way, but yeah.
Why?
I respect your
Is
honesty.
there-
I appreciate you getting us into the library. Got absolutely nothing out of it.
Is there like a fiction section for like a where you could find like a journey to the West style book of some guy like on their adventure to finding the lost city of whatever he talks about like
Roll
stuff.
me an investigation check.
I just need to
Like the one area, the one area.
Can I give
I
Nubian a
rolled-
guidance?
Absolutely not.
I rolled
But that was a double negative. You can. I'm just messing with you.
Okay.
Absolutely not. Not.
Can it
No,
be
no, no,
something
no.
that's not investigation though? Investigation.
Let's see. Can I investigate the library using a different role than investigation? No, no, you cannot, bro.
I wish to punch the knowledge out of the book.
Nuvian is up at the front like, Ikara, just so you know, doing violence against people to get information is wrong. Bop, 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 tell me, Barl, where's it at? Bop, tell me.
Guidance is a D4, correct?
Yes, it is.
All right, so that's an 11. Solid 11.
Solid one. Yeah.
11's good.
It's slightly above average.
You're able to find the fiction section. You might be able to find such a book in there, but it'll take a bit more time. You'd have to go a bit deeper. It's not something that immediately jumps out at you. So what you're being given is basically a choice to spend more time. It's going to get later. Be later before you all wake up. You're on kind of a clock with the situation. But if you think it's an important enough idea, you can spend some more time in the fiction section looking for such a book. I just want to make sure that the choice lands on you all. It will take some time, but you can keep looking.
Can I switch to? I mean, if Nuvian, are we gonna stick around for a little bit longer?
I would like to. I wonder if there had been someone taking the same path as we are. Maybe we can find a bit about what we may expect.
I was wondering, like, geography didn't really pan out, so I was wondering if there's maybe like a. I was gonna say cultural, but then I realized culinary didn't work out either. Maybe like religious or, I don't know, like a history section of the continent. Serena, do you feel like reading something useful?
Sure, but I'm kind of feeling Nuvian's idea. Perhaps there's a book, say a children's book of somebody going on a journey to this place, and maybe they had the right idea.
I was just thinking maybe Nuvian could do that angle, and then you or I, one of us could do like the continental history angle, and the other one could do like the, I don't know, the sociological angle.
I suppose.
I'm just saying, I'm not certain I want to spend the time for all four of us, excuse me, Akara, to look at each of these sections one at a time.
Well, I am perfectly fine with doing the historical aspect.
I guess I will go to the whatever the Dewey Decimal is for humanities. I'm going to be looking for, anthropological / religious.
Okay, and Nuvian's looking in the fiction section, and where is Serena looking?
History. General history of the continent.
History, anthropology, fiction. Okay. Adrian,
Mm-hmm.
what else are you doing at the inn while you all are chatting? Do you want to be doing anything else?
I do want to see if it looks like anybody is paying any undue attention to us.
Roll me a perception check.
Okay. 15?
Yeah. There's a guy in some leathers, not wearing any sort of guard uniform or anything like that, who seems to be sitting on the other side, but he's, for whatever reason, more interested than in you and Harry than anyone else in the bar, which is a bit odd. It leads you to one conclusion: either that guy has a crush on you, or he's being suspicious.
Technically, that is two conclusions.
I will try and
It's one conclusion because it involves an or clause.
So I will call over a server and say, do you mind getting us a little bit more of the brown ale, please? And while you're at it, that fellow over there in the corner, see, you can buy him one as well.
Oh, sure, no problem. I'll get right on that. And you do see, she goes by in the bar. She fills up 2 ales, puts them in front of you, fills up a third one, and then walks off to go carry it to the other guy.
Okay. And I will say to Harry, I'm not sure if our fellow over there just is giving one of us the eye. I mean, I can't blame him. Like, look at us, we're 2 wonderful looking men right here. Or maybe it's not quite as lovely as that image, and maybe he's paying a little bit too much attention to us. Either way, I want him to know that we know.
Do you get the really bad feeling that it's more the second thing than the first thing?
Well, it could be. Either way, if he knows that we know, then it's a good thing.
Are you gonna watch what he does?
Sure.
Well, I'm just asking, like, while you're maintaining a conversation with Harry, would you be watching the other guy to see what he does?
Yeah, I mean, like it's easy enough for me because Catherine will be the one looking at him, so I can face Harry and Catherine, but it'll be looked through Catherine's eyes.
And it's only as suspicious as a fox on your shoulder looking at him.
Mm-hmm.
Every now and again. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what you observe is that through Catherine's eyes, you watch him take the beer. He politely thanks the server. He drinks the beer and then throws up a hood, turns away from you all as he walks out of the inn.
Okay. So then I will say to Harry, yeah, no, it doesn't look like either one of us is getting lucky tonight. Perhaps he has been following us for unwelcome reasons.
I was sort of afraid it would go that direction. Also, I was pretty sure that I'm not gonna get. Never mind that. I was afraid it was gonna go that direction. What did you put in this?
I didn't put anything in this, like, it's just beer. I
He's
mean,
like looking at. He's like looking accusatorily at like the bar woman. Like, what did you put in this? And then he's like, how many of these have I had? He starts like trying to count, and he's like, I think I might have overdid it a bit.
maybe a little bit like, I mean, when we're talking about pining for people, it can tend to make us have a few more drinks than we might normally have otherwise.
Pining? I ain't seen a pine tree in my life. That's a lie. I've seen them before.
You've seen plenty of pine trees. Shall we say
one or three or some? Yeah.
unrequited love and feelings, but you know, which of course, you don't have any of those. I'm not suggesting you do.
Yeah, because that would be so
Of
ridiculous.
course, it would be ridiculous. A strapping young man who has a good grip in his sword, you know, being worth anything to a lovely young noble woman would be absolutely ridiculous.
Nezra from across the city just had full body chills. And
I
like,
think I'm
secondhand
gonna go to
embarrassment.
bed. Yeah, I'm gonna go to bed. I'm tired. I'm a little buzzed and I'm tired.
Now, I have a suggestion for you. I am not nearly as buzzed as you are. So, my suggestion is that either we bunk in a room together, just in case our friend over there decides to visit one of our rooms at night, or you stay in your room and I'm going to wait outside your door until the rest come back.
Well, it seems ridiculous for you to wait outside. And he goes
All
and
right.
gets a room from the bartender and goes up to the room.
Tight. I will also pay for however many ales we had. How much should I pay for that?
He was drinking like a decent bit. We'll say like a gold total.
Okay, and I will also give them say I will write ask for a piece of paper and write a little note in Celestial and say, would you mind giving this to my friend when he comes in? The one who's more the strong silent type.
Oh, yeah, I know the guy.
Yeah, if you could give him this note when they come in, and I'll give them like another 5 silver just for that thing. I don't know. That seems alright.
Okay, sure. They accepted graciously, like, oh, thank you very much. That was unnecessary, but much appreciated.
Not at all. You guys do a wonderful service, and you know, honestly, that brown's not bad at all. A good night to you.
A good night. So let's
And
talk
yeah.
about what happens in the library. Nezra, you're digging through anthropology texts for like 3 hours when you finally come to the conclusion that there just must not be any good anthropologists in Bastion because you can't find any useful information about what you're looking for. Serena, you look into like the general history, and for whatever reason, in Bastion, the Illwind armies have been ruling for about 3 decades, from what you can tell. And they basically footnote all of history before that. Like, the majority of the books that you can find are all like, well, the world was born and then it existed and some stuff happened and then we gained all this land and da 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 da. Nuvian, you find a children's book called The Lost City, which strangely uses the exact same name. Nazveen Mahaga Litar. It is not a children's book, but it is a novel of fiction. And as you're flipping through it, you gather the sense that the reason the city has been lost is that the only way to find it is to allow the city to find you. Because some children go on an adventure up into the mountains in the book, like teenagers, and the city ends up finding them and hijinks ensue. That's the plot of the fictional novel.
We will close the book and go and search for the others and see if they found anything useful.
You notice that the old man downstairs does pay enough attention that he always seems to wander close enough to overhear just the resonant sounds of what you're all going. Like Ikara, she's got a decent perception and he kind of knows like when someone's getting closer to try to get a little bit of a listen in, like even if he's not going to get specifics of what you all are saying, just that, he hears there's all still normal pages turning conversation going on in the library, and that you all haven't gotten up to anything too untoward or wandered too far out of that particular section. And go ahead and roll me a perception check. As far as you can tell, you haven't really been followed. No one else seems to come into the library. There's no one watching you from the glass pane at the door down on the bottom floor. You don't notice any other people trying to remain hidden in the library or anything like that. Okay.
Did you all find anything?
No.
So here's the thing. I had expected, with the massive library, that there would be people who wanted to put information inside of it, and I was wrong.
Perhaps not. You just were looking in the wrong place. I happened to find a book titled "The Same City That We Are Searching For."
What?
Well,
Nazir
it
Mahagalatir?
was called The Lost City, but it makes reference to the. I'm just trying to be clear. It's titled The Lost City. It makes reference to the exact city.
So then Anuvian will share, will hand Ezra the book. It appears that there are very few people who believe it is true. It appears that this is something where it doesn't really matter if you know where it is. It matters more that it finds you, so to speak.
I mean, really, the only useful information that I got is I did find. I used map in the loosest sense of the word, but it did have like a general location of where a trail into the Morelia. Was it Morelia?
Mhm.
Morelia Mountains would be. So, I mean, conceivably, we could start there and head in, find the city that finds us.
Sounds like we have a bit of a plan in a starting spot.
Yes.
I'm very tired.
Then perhaps we should return to the inn and make our way inside to get a good night's rest. I imagine that you all will want to sleep as long as you can.
Can we take the book with us, Serena? I mean, you got us in here. Can you get the book out?
Probably, considering that it was. Is it a children's book?
Yes.
I doubt they would miss a children's book.
I was not
Okay.
suggesting to steal it.
I'm
I want to be
I'm-
very, very clear.
I'm sorry to pressure the meta so much. It is not a children's book. It is a fictional novel, full on like novel about some teenagers.
Okay.
Are we talking like young adult book?
YA lit.
But if we were to put it into a modern terminology, it would be like a YA lit book. That's not how they think about it. It's just a novel.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the people of Exodor were not nice enough to directly reflect our reality in the way they categorize genres.
They did, however, directly reflect my experience with academia. So,
I mean,
Are there sparkling vampires in this book? That's all I want to know. If they are, burn it
If there
now.
isn't, I don't want to look at it.
No, just burn it now.
That's good. You know, I was a little worried there for a second, but I'm sure it's fine. My friend was
Harold?
failed. Well, I'm sure he's making sure that we're not tearing up books or anything.
We have successfully not done that, and I suggest we successfully make our way to the end.
Yes.
Let's go. Serena, are we supposed to leave like some sort of compensation for having been here after hours, or can we just vamoose?
We are running out.
Never
of
mind.
money,
I assume
dog.
you're going to take care of that. You got us in here. You'll get us out. Let's go.
Yeah. She'll leave like a gold piece or something on the little desk for him.
you can if you want to. You would know it's not necessarily expected.
She'll do it anyway. I'll take that off.
You'd probably do it more so to go against the grain than to sort of follow protocol.
Mhm.
Yes. Okay. So you all head back to the inn and grab your own rooms to sleep for the evening.
Yep.
Nubian, the note is passed to you, and it talks about the man in the hood who was watching and then left. I want to be clear. Adrian, you said that you were saying that he went up to one of the rooms, but he left the inn.
Yeah,
Did
no,
I-
I'm saying
did I
that that Achilles is
that-
awake in the room that Harry is in.
You're telling him what room you guys are in. Okay,
Yes.
cool. That makes perfect sense. So yeah, it does tell you which room number they're staying in.
Nubian will give the book to Nezra and instruct Ikara to be paying attention. I have to go and check on something. then he will go and make his way over to where Achilles is, just to make sure they're fine.
Okay. You do find them both still awake and in the room.
Achilles, I received your note.
All right, good. Just thought that maybe it would be prudent to share that with everybody. That maybe it'll be wise to just keep a stronger ear out tonight while we sleep.
Yes. Are you two going to be fine in here? Or should we bring another person down to make sure the numbers are even?
I think we should be okay. I'll try and let Catherine stay awake if she can, and just listen at the door. Start yapping if anybody comes in.
We are only a few doors down ourselves, so feel free to do whatever it takes. We should be here quite quickly.
All right, fair enough. I hope the trip to the library was successful.
It was fruitful, at least for me anyway. The others did not enjoy their time going over the tomes. But for now, we can regroup in the morning.
All right, fair enough. Well, good night to you then, lad.
Good night.
So, you all go to your rooms.
Hmm.
You all.
Serena, are we bunking together?
Yeah, sure.
I think Nezra does kind of half-heartedly try to read a little bit and does the thing where you like drop the book on your face because you're trying to read in bed because she's quite tired.
You do all perform your typical rituals before sleep as well, meditating, etc. And you all wake up undisturbed the next morning.
So while we
Down.
wait for you all to properly awaken in the morning, I will meet you all downstairs.
I will definitely be organizing coffee for our Twilight cleric. Yeah. Coffee for everyone.
So, as you all are getting ready, Harry comes to you, Achilles, and is like, "All right, we ready to go?" I already dropped off the apples this morning, so we're all good there.
Good man, good man. Yeah, I think we're ready to go. But we were just about to say, where are we going? What's the plan then?
Well, the mountains, right?
It would probably be best to go heading down to the mountain range where the city is believed to be, because in the aptly named fantasy novel, we discovered that the city is something that finds you.
I like that. That's mysterious.
I do hope so as well. Wandering the mountain ranges for days would not be very pleasant. Just in case, though, you all may want to bring food with you, especially for the ladies who definitely need a lot of coffee and things to wake up.
Be sure to pack a few grapes for you, Nivian.
You all get ready and depart for the mountains?
Yeah.
Oh, question.
You need to drop off the apples at Jonathan.
He did it, yeah.
Oh, Harold already took care of that this morning.
Yeah,
You know,
Good old boy.
Yeah. I got my coffee. I'm good. Let's go.
How many days is it going to take us from Bastion to the mountain range?
Like a day-ish, probably.
A day-ish. Okay.
okay.
That's not bad.
Like it was like a day to the mountains, and it was like a day to Bastion. So now you're like less than a day, like diagonally away from the mountains.
Okay. Could Serena read the book while we go?
Which one?
The Lost City.
The novel? Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Just to kind of see what she can get out of it. Maybe there's something else there.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead and roll me. We'll say an intelligence check to just for our record how much of the plot you're able to maintain.
Yeah. That is a 19.
Okay. You do a pretty good job. Like almost impressing yourself even a little bit because you're kind of speed reading to make sure you can get through it in like the first day, and like it's probably been like 5 or 6 hours when you make it to the end of it, and you're like, huh. Let me just flip through a couple parts, and you go back to like a few of the parts just to make sure you remember some details that jumped out at you, and yeah, you mostly remember the plot of the book. Not quite like a photographic memory, but pretty good. Very close. And you all are traveling. Serenda's reading the book. What is Nuvian, Nezra, Ikara, Achilles? You guys want to be doing anything on the way? Harry's just kind of driving the cart along.
It's a few people. He's our guard dragon.
I'm gonna put it on record that Achilles is whistling as he's walking incredibly out of tune.
Oh no.
Well, that changes Nezra's plans. What?
Like Serena's just like shut up from the cart.
Nuvian is keeping his eye out on the terrain around them while also practicing his celestial.
Nice. So every now and then Achilles will chime in there and have a little conversation. They'll have a little laugh. Oh no. You shouldn't talk about people like that. That's a very naughty word. Who taught you that one?
You
yes, Nuvian just laugh. Okay.
Oh shit.
You all make your way to the path that Nezra found at the foot of the mountain. There's an hour or two of daylight left in the day when you get there. What do you all want to do?
Going.
Are we going to try and make camp? Or if the city's supposed to find us, maybe we're supposed to get lost?
No, let's keep going.
I think let's keep going.
What's an hour or two that we might need to backtrack in the morning, right?
At worst.
Maybe just get a feel for the land, maybe touch some plants or something on our way. Take our time.
Well, did you end up finding out then anything about wildlife? I didn't get a chance to do any reading, unfortunately.
You know, again, it was kind of a weird night. I just kind of skimmed through things. I saw that right there. I believe that is a dandelion. It's like a weed.
I think you're right.
As you step up into the mountain. Go ahead and roll me a perception check. Ikara, Nezra, and anyone else who's looking out for being followed as you go up the mountain.
Serena's not. She's just.
I'm not looking if we're being followed.
Natural one.
I would prefer to pay attention to uneven land or anything that looks dangerous, like, accidentally there's a pit here or something like that. That's rather what I prefer to be doing that.
Are you doing it roll to not trip? Or do you mean like more of like an actively watching for traps?
Yeah, well, like not necessarily traps, just like geographical dangers as opposed to people dangers.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry. The way I interpreted it was like a little bit of like, well, I'm blind, so I'm looking for potholes that I don't want to trip over. Okay.
That
Cool.
too.
Cool. What'd you get, Ikara? Okay. Ikara does not think he's being followed.
Uh,
I got a natural 1. Is what I got.
nice.
I mean, Nezra,
I'm
you're
getting
pretty
it.
sure you're always being followed, but you can't prove it right now.
You're always being followed.
21 just for
Yeah.
geographical dangers.
I feel he thinks he's got a pretty good hand on the geographical dangers.
I
What'd you get, Nubian?
rolled a 9.
You do not believe that you're being followed.
Yeah, I'm talking to Celestial, so I really won't pay attention anyway. You know.
He's just like, the guard dragon will get him, whatever.
Yeah, it's a part of Akara's training. It's fine.
So you all are about 100 feet up the mountain when, almost to your own shock, the world starts to shimmer around you. And you feel as though you almost all pass through like a curtain. Like you're pushing up against it, and then all of a sudden it folds back and like pushes against you until you're through to the other side. You all take 7 psychic damage.
I'm resistant.
You all take
Ooh.
7 psychic damage as you can feel something pressing against your mind the same moment your body is being pressed through this curtain. And in front of you is not a ruined city, but a put together one that has been completely untouched by time. Everything's still functioning. There's no sign of weathering or damage. And that is what you see appear in front of you as your brain is pushed against by some sort of external pressure. Which is going to be our cliffhanger for this episode.
Oh.
Oh!
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt that.
Nice.
No.
Thank you, anyone who is still with us, for staying with us the whole time.
Yeah.
Yes, thank
Cheers.
y'all.
Bye.